I am a Gray, a hard-shelled stormcaller.
And I am an Ornog, a sea-riding shellcracker.
I am... curses. You again, Victor. You can call... not just myself.
Do not let those Korlanya High Elves deceive you.
Ah, good. The Bone Lord is still here, and he is awake again. Sergeant, we need to speak with the prisoner.
Very well. Prisoner's all yours.
Do you come to mock Kagajal for his defeat? Enjoy. Kagajal is sure you would like to know. But this one does not give up his brethren so easily. Death holds no terrors for one who walks the necromantic path. Kill Kagajal and be done with it. He with Kagajal is not without honor. He can face his execution with pride, or he can face his execution as a betrayer of the oaths he swore to the Black Worm. What kind of choice is that? Better to remain silent. Huh? A thin offer, but this one admits he has his preferences regarding execution versus lengthy imprisonment. Very well. You will find the passages beneath in Tarnar Mine, to the south. More than that, Kagajal will not say.
Justice belongs to those entrusted with that duty. In this case, the Regent of Sunport. You did well to convince the Bone Lord to talk without excusing his crimes. I approve. I will meet you in the mine. I suspect Wormblood and Farinor shared that information only with those who needed to know. The note you and Scordo found referred to a shipment of great importance, did it not? If it is important to them, then that is a matter for the laws of Sunport. He joined the cult in wanton murder. Some would say there is no punishment too harsh for him, yet the information he gave us may save lives. I am glad I do not have to decide. Let us be on our way. Good.
All mounts are wonderful.
Arcanist here.
a chance at perfection.
This is the place, but the passage splits. You try the door on the left, I will go right. Hackwings. These tunnels appear to twine together like snakes. I will rejoin you when I can. Nothing more than spiders and acolytes so far. Keep looking.
Hostilities ended. Now to relax.
Follow the tracks. The passage opens into a cavern up ahead.
I'm feeling hostility.
What an...
Our paths meet again. I did not expect an underground river. Let us see what is on that barge. I can taste the river. It runs east under the mountains. It must pass through the writhing wall, or beneath it. The worm cult sent a sarcophagus to the other side of the solstice. We should take a closer look. I know that likeness, Manimarco. These are his remains. Nothing good can come from letting this sarcophagus reach worm blood.
You dare disturb the king of worms? Gotta smash them!
Look out! Zoo! Tharanor's monster knocked us into the river. Come, we need to discuss what we found here. It is not often I find a current I cannot master, but today the river proved stronger than I was. At least we found out what the worm cult's important shipment was. The mortal remains of Manimarco, the king of worms. Is it not obvious? They seek to bring their leader, Manimarco, back from the dead. A necromancer of wormblood status is certainly powerful enough for the task. The Soul Reapers, the Writhing Wall. He wields necromancy unlike anything seen before. Mannimarco planned to elevate himself to become the god of death. I imagine he would resume that journey. Still, I thought Molag Bal had a claim on his soul. Recalling Mannimarco from Cold Harbor should not be possible. If that is what Wormblood needs to unlock the gates of Cold Harbor and return Mannimarco to Nirn, we must discover what it is and make sure he does not acquire it. What kind of a gift is death, anyway? Return to Prince Azal and see if our allies have news of Wormblood. Beating him to whatever prize he seeks is even more important than we thought. Do you see that eddy in the pool? That is the way out. You defeated him at Sankra Tor, did you not? Worm cult fanatics must have retrieved his body after you left. Mannimarco had no shortage of willing followers, and I have no doubt a master of death magic would prepare a grand sarcophagus just in case. Do not be misled by the shambling corpses or dusty bones you have seen. That is the work of but a moment. With time, skilled necromancers can restore a years-old corpse to a lifelike state if they care to do so. For Mannimarco, they would.
We can use this. To Apocrypha with you. Distasteful.
worm cult attacked the Palace District. You were there, Taylor Canor. Were you injured?
It was a close call, but the Stirk Fellowship intervened and saved us.
The tides washed the outsiders to our shore for good reason, it seems.
I just thank the Three Queens they were there when we needed them.
Please.
The worm cult attacked the Palace District. You were there, Taylor Canor. Were you injured?
It was a close call, but the Stirk Fellowship intervened and saved us.
The tides washed the outsiders to our shore for good reason, it seems.
I just thank the Three Queens they were there when we needed them.
Comrade, were you successful? Did you find the passages beneath? Comrade, tell me quickly, did you find the passages beneath? And did you discover what was so important down there? And what of Walks in Ash? Did something happen to the Pact representative? Manamarco's remains? Surely the Worm Cult cannot want to bring back the King of Worms. Yet what else would they do with his corpse? You return with grim news indeed, comrade. What about Farinor or Wormblood? Were they there too? The fortunes of battle can be fickle. Even if Farinor escaped justice, you at least returned with information. Now we know the Worm Cult has Manamarco's corpse. We must endeavor to foil their plans. Meanwhile, Gabrielle may have learned something.
It's strange. Bonus's staff is definitely pulling me somewhere. I think... Bonus, where are you?
Almost. This is no good. Gabrielle, I have much to tell you. Bring my staff to Lizal. The wall is thin there. I'm in a worm called prison. Listen, Wormblood is looking for a Sithid shrine in Solstice. I think he... A relic called... Gift of... Damn, I can't...
I think I know what we need to do. Friend, let's talk. Lizal. That is a pass in the mountains north of Sunport, and there are several Sithis shrines in Western Solstice.
If you could
I
share...
knew this staff of Vonnis's was trying to tell me something. He made sure to leave it behind for me when the worm cult captured him at the Earth Forge. He knew we were going to need it. The message wasn't terribly clear, was it? He said he was still a prisoner, but I don't think he was calling for help. I think Vonnis wants to warn us about something. He was trying to tell us how to make it easier for him to reach us. I know Vonnis Galarian can be rather full of himself, but in his case, a bit of overconfidence is warranted. This wouldn't be the first time he let himself be captured to get close to his enemies. Vonnis has likely seen things we have not, but we have information he needs to know too. For example, your discovery of Manamarco's sarcophagus. Slowly but surely, we're bringing the worm cult's plots to light. Thank you, friend. I've been wondering why Vonnis Galarian's staff is pulling me here and there around Solstice. Now that Vonnis managed to send a message, I finally know why. I think he's on the other side of the riding wall. That's what we thought. But Vonnis mentioned a thin spot in the wall at Lizal Pass. If the wall impedes his ability to communicate with us, that must be because he's on the other side of it. Take the staff to Lizal Pass and re-establish contact with Vonnis. He may need our help, or we may need his. I think he wanted to warn us about something Wormblood is planning. We need to find out what that is and stop it. Will you go with me? Regent Corinway said Lizal Pass is located in the mountains north of Sunport. Meet me there. The sooner we can speak to Vonnis again, the better. We'll leave Prince Azai and the others to figure out which shrine Wormblood is interested in. Vonnis Galarian is an archmage, and the longtime foe of Manamarco and the Worm Cult. In fact, Vonnis founded the Mages Guild specifically to combat the rising influence of dark necromancers in Tamriel. Oh, it was centuries ago, long before my time. But what's a few centuries to a high elf archmage? Back in those days, Vonnis and Manamarco were friends of a sort, then rivals. They studied together in the Psijic Order until their falling out. As I understand it, Vonnis caught Manamarco practicing forbidden magic. The Psijics allowed Manamarco to leave without taking any steps to stop him. So, Vonnis left as well. He founded the Mages Guild to do what the Psijics would not.
Not so close, Patches. Wouldn't want you to come down to this gorge, too.
Quality material makes for quality goods. Ew! Be sure to wash your hands.
It's all uphill from here. We're too close to the riding wall for a portal, but I brought grapple bows just in case. Not much of a pass, is it? If I'm not mistaken, this cave leads to a path through the mountains. More of a goat track, really. Be ready for some climbing. We'll probably have to do this the hard way. Grapple bows. Never used one? They're fun. Since the riding wall interferes with portal magic and we're going to get very close, I won't be able to use spells. So I brought the bows to help us climb. I hope we won't have to use them, but here you go. I hope Vonus will take care of that for us. If we reach a spot where the riding wall is thin enough, he'll find us. All we have to do is keep going up, and deal with any worm cult patrols in our path. Let's ahead. See that old bundle of flowers? It would be a good place to move a grapple bow.
I'm here. What's next?
Deal then?
This looks like a promising spot. Be ready.
Arcanist here.
Finally, we must speak swiftly. I have little time. Gabrielle, help maintain our connection.
Speak
The new helping Gabrielle. Good. I hope she still had my stuff, but I wasn't sure my previous messages got through. We must be swift. The permanence of the wall fluctuates and I can be cut off at any time. Where are you now? I'm in Solstice as well, on the other side of the writhing wall from you. The Worm Cult brought me here from Cold Harbor, and they brought Cold Harbor here as well. Wormblood is attempting a new plane melt, in reverse. Like Mohawk Ball's dark anchors, but in reverse. Instead of dragging our world into Cold Harbor, he's bringing Cold Harbor into Nuremberg. The eastern side of Solstice is already changing. You can't, not while the wall still stands. I have some help in here, but my ally convinced me it's impossible for now. The writhing wall is an insuperable barrier. Thin spots such as these all notwithstanding. I need you to...
Father, I see what Vonis meant by permanence. The thickness of the wall fluctuates. We need to find another weak point. Vonis is right about Cold Harbor. I can see elements of that foul place all around us. Here. The wall is thin here.
My dear, quickly, there is more I must tell you. Curse the luck. I sense that the writhing wall fluctuates at random, but I assumed we'd have more time. Thin points appear and disappear without warning. How far has the Wormco's reverse plane belt progressed on your side of the wall? Daedra. That's worrisome, but not unexpected. If you aren't surrounded by lakes of azure plasm or looking up at floating islets of rock, then things haven't gone too far yet. We still have a little time to stop the worm cult. I'm not sure yet, but an army of necromancers in Daedra is massing in Eastern Solstice. Clever Wormblood, really. If he gathered his forces anywhere in Tamriel, we would have noticed. But the cursed island in the writhing wall blinded us. Unlikely. Wormwood controls a terrible source of power on my side. Something that consumes souls. The worm called Soul Reapers feed this thing. In turn, it empowers the writhing wall. Great effort. But to what?
Cut off again! We must find another place where we can speak with Vonis.
You have
cohort.
I will not lose Vonis.
My captors have finally figured out I'm up to something in here. Listen closely. Wormblood seeks a relic called the Gift of Death. My source tells me it's hidden in a place called Voska's Shrine. He must not acquire it. It's part of the Tibahatse court, sacred to Sithis. My ally here tells me it's in the hills southwest of Sunport. The Solstice Argonians used to play a ritual game there. A bloody one. As for why Wormblood wants the Gift of Death, I'm not sure. The Worm Cult brought Manamarco here. Now that explains much. Wormblood must believe this Gift of Death can resurrect his old master. It's up to you then. Stop Wormblood from obtaining the relic. If he... Damn it. Here come my captors.
I lost Vonus. We were lucky to learn as much as we did, but we know what we must do. Let's talk, friend. I hope Vonus is alright. I don't like the way that last conversation ended. For that matter, I don't like what he told us. The Worm Cult gathering strength behind the Writhing Wall and a new plane meld? That's terrible. I don't think so. Vonus mentioned a source of power. Still, we had to invade Cold Harbor to stop the plane melt before. Good people lost. Dead. I've missed Dear Darien ever since. Now Wormblood is bringing it back? And Manamarco too? You're right, of course. We don't know if Wormblood is close to his goal. So you'd better head to the Tibahatse Shrine. Find the Gift of Death before he gets there. Or at least delay him. I'll return to Sunport and warn the Fellowship. Good luck at Voska's Shrine. I'll make sure Princess Oz sends help just in case you run into Wormblood too. It hardly seems fair. So many gave so much to stop the Worm Cult last time. Like Darien. Now they're back. So what did Darien die for? Memory's a bittersweet thing. When I think of Darien's smile, his laugh, I can't help but remember what it felt like to be with him, how I felt about him. And that makes me miss him even more. I suppose I can admit it. Darien was more than a friend. It started as a game. I pretended I was scandalized by his endless flirting. He pretended he wasn't serious. I wish I had said something about how I really felt. But I think he knew.
Were you injured?
It was a close call, but the Sturk Fellowship intervened and saved us.
The tides washed the outsiders to our shore for good reason, it seems.
I just think the three queens, they were there.
Please take your...
I have crafting.
Alchemy.
What is the purpose?
The worm cult attacked the palace district. You were there, Taylor Candor. Were you injured?
It was a close call, but the Sturk Fellowship intervened and saved us.
The tides washed the outsiders to our shore for good reason, it seems.
I just think the three queens, they were there when we needed them.
Quality material makes for quality goods.
Ugh! Dirt fungus.
Five Claw, over here! Raz poked around several old Argonian ruins before returning to Sunport empty-handed. He never thought to visit an ancient ball court until Gabrielle showed up and sent him here. With great urgency, one might add. Imagine his surprise. If you consider High Necromancer Wormblood to be unusual, then yes. He arrived just before you, and he brought friends. They entered the old ball court just ahead. Raz wondered if they came to play a game, but no one invited him to join in. Indeed. This one must confess he is a little surprised and intrigued. But perhaps we should defer this interesting conversation until we have dealt with the matter at hand. Now remind Raz, what is Wormblood looking for here? If Wormblood is here, Vanus must have a knowledgeable source indeed. This one heard Wormblood tell his minions to seek the ball court's ritual altar to the north. Time for Five Claw and the Queen's Eye to save the day, yes? Look at the seating. Huh? Raz had no idea Tiba Hadley was so important. Aha! Look, Five Claw. Wormblood is here, fellow. This is our chance.
Brutality is the only option here.
Faithful of the Black One, destroy his interlopers.
Even
wretched souls. Enough.
This one senses danger. Quick, Maestro! Hide behind the pillar!
I reclaim my power from these flimsy vessels.
Take cover! Another dead bird? You will need to bore us, one kisser.
My horde and my followers would tear you limb from limb. Fools! Death cannot stop me.
At last! Take the relic, Hyde, and let us be on our way. Nurse does not like the feel of this place. Dark moons. He's coming back to life! It is foolish to fight a foe who cannot die. Destroy the columns. Bring down the shrine. Raz will pin Wormblood to the floor. Get the gift of death back to Sunport. Raz will be fine.
Another chance at perfection.
May the luminance of Meridia bless you and keep you forever in its light. Let nocturnal shadows surround and comfort you.
Gabrielle recounted what you learned from Varnus Galarian. Dire tidings indeed. Was he right about the sacred Tiba Hatse court? Was Wormblood there? Did you find the gift of death? Excellent news, I think. We still don't know exactly why the Worm Cult needs the gift of death to restore Mannimarco, if that is indeed their intention, but at least the Worm Cult doesn't have it. What happened with Wormblood? Immediate resurrection? What kind of power is he able to call upon? Only legendary necromancers or a few fated heroes can do that. If Wormblood can't die, how did you and Razumdar defeat him? You did well to keep the gift of death from Wormblood. Better yet, you found a way to speak with Varnus Galarian. Knowledge is a mighty weapon in this war of secrets. Now we know what awaits us behind the writhing wall. I thank you, comrade. The Fellowship faces difficult
It takes more
decisions.
than a falling
Let us
building
talk,
to send
comrade.
this one to the sands behind the stars.
While you were searching Volsga Shrine, thanks to you, we now have something Wormblood wants, the gift of death. As long as we...